something, right? It's always something. Woohoo! All right. How we doing? There we go. Oh man, what a day! All this technology, man. Got to have fun with it, right? How's everybody doing? As you check it out, chilling with the pink shirt on. This is the Valentine's edition, the pre-Valentine's Day edition. For all of you guys and girls who are getting ready for Valentine's Day, whatever that may mean for you. Hey, love yourself. I know everybody's talking about loving everybody else, but love yourself. Want to get started talking about this evening is basically what's your retirement plan? How are you going to retire? What does that look like for you? If you guys were paying attention earlier today, we put on the screen, and you can go back to the Facebook feed and to the YouTube feed. Today there was a big announcement, right? And the big announcement was that inflation is at 7.5. Is that 7.5 right now? And they say that, well, that was more than anticipated. And a lot of people were, oh my God, I can't believe inflation is so high. And well, you've been following us. We've been telling you about this, right? And so even when we do our illustrations for our clients, what we try to do is give very conservative numbers. And a part of those conservative numbers, and I'm trying to pull it up here for you, just for some of you guys who may have missed it, I'm just trying to pull it up and see if I can find it, was the conservative numbers that we provide folks. It helps you get an idea of what to expect. What's the growth rate that you're going to need to have so that you can meet your mark and make sure that you are planning properly based upon how much can your accounts make. And I'm gonna leave this alone right now because I feel like I'm distracted and I want to give you my full attention. But here's the thing: how much can you expect your full account to make? And what are you able to do to either narrow down that number or just make sure that number is what you need to actually retire, to actually meet your financial goals? And some of you, definitely between the ages, 35, 55, maybe you're not thinking about retirement right now. It's not in your mind. What I'm going to show you this evening applies to everybody, right? And it's basically a 7-year retirement plan, right? It's really a 7-year retirement plan. And when I say retire, don't think that if you don't have to show up and go to work anymore, you're just going to sit on the couch. It doesn't work that way. Retirement is a transition, meaning you don't have to go to work anymore, meaning that you go to work because you want to go to work. You're doing something because you want to do something. And there's a lot of you who you have bigger ambitions in life. It's okay, right? You have bigger ambitions in life. So what I want to do is I want to hook all of you guys up with a game plan that you can share with you and yours, your loved one, and we're going to talk about how to use the program. We often use a program, all the time. We use a program called Flow to Grow, right? And this program called Flow to Grow, we use it because it's the true cash flow management system. And what we do is we show you how to capitalize your cash flow short term for long-term profits. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about those long-term profits that you are able to receive when you retire, right? So those you're capitalizing on income. Now, for you to understand what we're going to be talking about today, when we're talking about your income, anything can be turned into income, meaning that you're going to consume those dollars, right? So let's say, if you earn a salary at a job, that can be used as income, right? If you have just idle dollars sitting inside your checking or your savings account, that can be used as income, right? If you are receiving Social Security, that's income. A pension, that's income. Have annuity, that's income. Have a 401k, that can be used as income, right? You got a stock account, that can be used as income. Bonds, income. Real estate, income. Income. Cryptocurrency, income. Meaning that dollars that you can liquidate and spend, okay? We can show you how to index those dollars. Now, the best part of using those dollars is that when you use those dollars, as we were talking about inflation earlier today, when you use these dollars, they are helping you outpace inflation. They're helping you outpace inflation. So when inflation goes up, your purchasing power goes up as well. And this is a beautiful thing. This is a good thing. Where everybody else is worried and concerned about the cost of milk, eggs, juice, gas, water, power, all those things, you, using this program, will be able to stay running with inflation or outpace inflation. And we're not talking about stock market products, right? And this is how you protect your money against stock market's loss. Right? So when the market goes down, you're going to be fine. It's going to be okay. There's no need to panic, right? You don't have to, using this program, you don't have to let anybody scare you into making a decision. That's the whole premise of our company, is to take the fear out of finances through education. So right now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be educating you on this program, how to use this program. And for those of you who are new to this program, welcome. We love you. Welcome to the Lasser Financial Consultants family. We're here about education, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to educate you really briefly and catch you up to speed on a couple of things. So here we go. This is a program that is used by your banks, right? So everything I'm going to show you is backed up by the FDIC. This is what they do. This is how they are utilizing this program by the FDIC. The banks are doing this, and not just the banks, the credit card companies, Walmart, Target, you name it, everybody's doing it. Mortgage companies, they're doing it. And what are they doing? What are they doing? Okay. The big thing that they're doing is that they're using life insurance products. They're taking permanent cash value life insurance products and placing them on top executives, their employees, and account holders, meaning you, right? If you got an account at a bank, you got an ATM card, you got a savings account, one of these accounts are on you, right? So if they're doing it, you can do it too, right? If they're doing it, you can do it too. Many people say, well, who else is doing this? Well, the banks are doing it, and everybody else around you are doing it. I don't want to digress, but I often tell folks the story about Joe Harbaugh. And if you know about Joe Harbaugh, coach of the 49ers, won the Super Bowl, went to Michigan. And when he went to Michigan, everybody thought he was a financial genius, right? Financial genius. And you can be a financial genius too once you understand the Slow to Grow program. What did he do, right? He got a contract. It was a 10-year contract. He loved the contract. He's good to go. Yeah. When he got to the contract signing, put a timeout. And he said, hey. They said, what's wrong? You don't like the contract? We want you here at Michigan. What can we do to make you happy? He goes, listen, you know that 10-year contract that you have? Well, listen, I want you to flow that money. I want you to pay it to my insurance policy. And then we're going to take some loans out. I'll give you your money back, but just the amount that you're going to pay me for the year, I'm just going to take that. I'm just going to keep it there. You pay me out of my insurance policy. When they looked at what he was doing, when they analyzed what he was doing prior to them approving it, they overwhelmingly said, yes, we're going to do this. He is now known as the highest paid college coach in history. So I want you to wrap your mind about what I'm going to tell you, because we're going to talk about how to retire. We're going to talk about how to retire, okay? So when he entered into this program and he got them to sign on it, you have to understand there's a history, right? Many people in the NFL, they know about this program. Many people in the NBA, they know they're using the exact same program, right? So this is not foreign. This is not new. Maybe new to you. It's not new, right? We're just educating you on what's out there and what's possible. Okay. So as you're appreciating, the merits of this program, I just really want you to understand why people are doing it. They're doing it because it's a better growth rate, right? They're not going to lose any money in this deal. And when you do it this way right here, okay, when you do it this way, it's tax deferred and tax free when it comes out, right? That's a huge factor. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. And your money is liquid and accessible, right? You can put your hands on your money at any time for any reason, right? That's the reason why it's not preferred to have certain financial products, right? Here's the next one, all right? It has key person protection built in. And that key person protection that's built in is basically saying, hey, look, guys, hate to be the one to tell you, but you're going to die, right? You're going to die. You're going to die, right? It is what it is. So it's the one level of coverage that you're going to use. But here's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is there are much higher contribution caps than 401ks, IRAs, Roths. You're getting ready to see that tonight with your own two eyes. You're going to recognize what we're doing here. Okay, you're going to recognize really quickly what we're doing here. So let's get after it. Let's get after it. Okay. So that being said, we want to talk about what folks are doing and how they're doing it. So let's break it down to the smallest pieces really briefly. The smallest pieces real. All right. So what are they doing? Well, they're using an index universal life insurance policy. An index universal life insurance policy. Man, I get so excited when I talk about this. I wish I could add enough time to break down the history. We're going to break down the history for that in the coming weeks. But here's the deal. This is the program that we use to teach people how to flow their money just like the banks are doing. Okay? And if you can understand this portion of it, you start really appreciating the product itself. You start appreciating that this is just not insurance. It's a financial product, right? It's a financial tool, okay? It's just as much as a financial tool as a banking account, as a checking account, as a Roth, as a 401k, as gold, polonium, commodities, American depository receipts, real estate. They're all financial tools. A financial tool with the means for you to generate wealth and, of course, spend it and consume it, right? So the biggest reason that I personally like index universal life policies is not the traditional reason, is that I've been in the financial services industry for years. I am going on my 16th year. And during this time, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly for people who do not have life insurance coverage, right? And you probably have seen some of this, the GoFundMes, right? Somebody passes away and the funeral takes about 2-3 weeks to happen, right? And what about before somebody passes away? The long-term care, the disability, right? You need somebody to take care of mama or papa, all right? You got to come out of town, the trips, and, just taking care of family, right? Okay. What if that was already paid for? What if that was already taken care of, right? What if your only job was to either get well or help somebody else get well? And that's how we use this product, right? So the Index Universal Life Policy, it has built-in disability and long-term care coverage, right? And they're highly flexible. You can use it as a pension, right? Or you can use it for personal needs. Or you can use it for business needs. Irregardless, it's the flow to grow, time to go, because I can't wait to share with you guys, simply put, the retirement plan, how to retire and stay retired. So let's get the basis of the Flow to Grow program. How does it work? What's the in and outs? What are the intricacies with it, right? So the intricacies that are with it, just understand day one. Day one, some way, shape, or form, you are getting paid. You're making money, right? And just once again, just making things easy. When you get paid, that could be any type of monetary value. Anything that could be considered liquid US dollars. Anything that could be liquidated over, for a period of time as US dollars. And let's just really talk about this real quick. Let's just jump in, right? US dollars. You need to only have that currency in US dollars for 3 to 5 business days. That's it. Okay? So as I'm approaching this, I'm approaching it from understanding the tax side. I'm understanding the financial side, right? For example, if you have a 401k, you pull money out there either by a loan or a withdrawal. You got 60 days to put that money back, and there's no fees, no charges, or anything, no taxes or anything, right? That's called the indirect rollover, right? Ask your tax accountant about that. Totally fair. Okay. So let's just say that, it can come from a retirement account. Okay. Come from your banking account. It can come from real estate, wherever you have, however you're able to liquidate it. Those are dollars, right? So that's day one. Those are day $1. Now, on day 2, you take that money and you put it inside your Index Universal Life account, right? Your Index Universal Life policy. For day 3, you pull that money out by way of loan, by way of taking a loan, right? And the reason why we take a loan, and for anybody who's new to this program, to this presentation, hear me out, right? Don't forget. we want to make sure that we understand this really well. So you want to take a loan first and foremost. First and foremost, get this. It's a loan that you don't have to pay back. Why? Because your death benefit is the collateral. What does that mean? Insurance company's totally fine with you taking a loan. Why? Because one day, God forbid it's too soon, you're going to die. And when you die, that loan is going to be paid back. Okay? That loan is going to be paid back. So when you're taking loans from the policy, let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. It's a loan that you don't have to take it back. That you don't have to pay back, right? So the 2 reasons why we take a loan is, 1, we never want to disturb interest, right? You don't want to disturb interest, because when you disturb interest, you're disturbing the interest crediting. If you're disturbing the interest crediting, that means your account is not growing as exponentially faster as it could be, because you disturb the interest. So don't disturb interest, right? Do not disturb the interest, right? The number two reasons why you take loans from your policy, and you're going to appreciate this in a moment, is that it's not taxable, right? It's not taxable. All the billionaires and the millionaires know this. It's not taxable, okay? So if it's not taxable, and that's day 3, let's do a recap real quick, right? Day 1, you get paid. Money goes inside your savings account or your checking account, whichever one, doesn't matter, right? Then day 2, that says $25,000. You put it inside your Index Universal Life policy. But here are some of the perks. You're immediately earning money, 7% on average, okay? But your policy has a cap. We're talking about the growth here. And that means you are a priority with the insurance company, right? And how's your money growing? Through the index S&P 500. And that means you're not going to lose any money, which means you get a larger death benefit, right? And last but not least, you want to have a 20% retention. Now, you take that money by way of loan, move it over to your checking account. As you move it over to your checking account, yes, there's a fee, there's a loan fee, right? But because of arbitrage, you're earning specifically 3% or more on every dollar you are now spending, which means you are earning perpetual arbitrage. Now, the beautiful thing about this perpetual arbitrage is you go ahead and spend your money on everything that you normally spend your money on. Go ahead and spend your money on everything that you normally spend your money on. Here's the thing. As you're spending the money, you're making money on your money. You can't beat it, right? You're making money on your money as you're spending, right? So imagine having a credit card and every time you swipe the card, the balance is paid, right? So if you had a credit card that you can swipe all year long and the balance is paid, how much would you be swiping that card, right? And that's specifically what we're talking about, and how this program works. Okay, so once again, if you guys have any questions about what I'm getting ready to go into, because I'm getting ready to go deep. I'm getting ready to go deep. I hope you guys got your scuba gear, because I'm getting ready to go deep, right? So if you're going to earn 3% or more on every dollar you spend, we're going to go deep now. If you're going to earn 3% on every dollar that you spend, then you must take into consideration something else. I want you to understand that there are two types of tax systems in our country. It's one for the informed and one for the uninformed. It's one for the informed and one for the uninformed. Now, I'm going to interject here for a moment and just talk about really quickly this concepts of two tax systems. And I am going to, and I'm not going to say any names, I'm just going to say an acquaintance. You guys may know this acquaintance. I won't say any names, but this acquaintance, shall we say, had an issue with people during tax time looking for ways to reduce their tax burden. Mainly, this acquaintance had a problem with business owners who pay a little bit extra money to accountants and so forth to figure out how to reduce their tax burden. Well, this person was like, oh, that you're taking away from the government, and the government needs that money for the roads and for the schools and so forth. And I just want you to just stop a moment and just look at that. This is from Judge Leonard Hand, one of the most quoted judges in U.S. history, who recognized that nobody's breaking any laws by avoiding taxes, right? Now, avoiding taxes is not legal. Evading taxes is illegal. I mean, that's illegal, right? Avoiding taxes is legal, right? So as we go through this and we're talking about taxes, I want to give you another historic point of view. The top tax rates went all the way to 93%. And some people didn't know that. Went all the way to 93%. And any changes to tax rates, right, could increase the amount of earning taxes that you're going to have to pay in the future. And many people, if you've been paying attention to the news or just to the market, you probably, if I had to ask you guys, do you think taxes are going to get lower, stay about the same, or increase? What would you say? Anybody? Here, let me check the chat box. What do you think? Anybody? If I had to ask, but most people say, they think that taxes are going to increase in the future. Okay? So if we can come to common ground that we believe that taxes are going to increase in the future, okay, what is going to be, what's going to be taxed? What's going to be taxed? Right? I want you to think about it, right? That's anything considered income. Anything considered income, right? When you retire. So you're not working. So your salary, you're not thinking about salary now. Your salary, is not going to be there because you're retired. So that's not going to be taxed, right? Because it's not there. Anything that comes out of your Social Security check, and everybody's going to get a Social Security check, right? That's what it's set up. And so if you start receiving Social Security, right? Social Security says if you're making over $25K or $32,000 married, up to 50% of your Social Security will be taxed. Now, this is the thing. Most people don't realize that over $44,000 means that 85% of your Social Security will be taxed. Newsflash, right? And this is tax time, okay? This tax time, and it's always tax time, right? So this is tax time. Everybody should be considering their taxable holdings as of right now, as well as moving in the future. So if you understand the system has it set up where you're going to be perpetually taxed. And the more money that is considered earned income, capital gains, or ordinary income, you're going to be taxed on it. Now, this is some great information. I want you all to think about your parents and your grandparents right now. What is their taxable situation looking like? Just understanding that if they got a Social Security check, up to 50% of their Social Security is getting taxed. That means they're not getting all of their Social Security. Now, in this program, I'm going to show you how to make sure that you and your folks will be getting more of that Social Security income and keeping Uncle Sam's hands out of your pocket. Man, this is going to be revolution what I share with you guys right now. Okay, now, before I can show you the good stuff, we got to talk about the 4 ways that you could be taxed more than planned. Okay, number 1, if you're pushed into a higher tax bracket, if the tax laws change, you can be pushed into a higher tax bracket. Right. Number 2, okay, if something happens, and let me give you an idea. If something happens, let's say there's a medical adversity that comes along, and when that medical adversity comes on, you have to pull out of your accounts. And this happens a lot. I have a lot of clients. We've already planned for it, so it's not a necessarily issue for us, but a lot of new clients, when they come in, medical adversity has just happened. So now they have to pull out money out of their IRAs or their 401ks or whatever accounts they have, and it's taxable. Okay? And so, now when they pull out, that's added as earned income, and now, boom, they owe more money in taxes. Okay? What about if the laws change? Another way that you could end up paying more in taxes, more than planned. So if you move into a higher tax bracket, these are the reasons why. Okay, these are the 2 top reasons why. If you get moved into a higher tax bracket, or pushed into a higher tax bracket, or the tax rates increase, and I got to go ahead and tell you, Congress is looking to increase the taxes, definitely because of shutting the country down, COVID-19, call it what you want. But even before COVID, they knew that they had to increase taxes, right? Interest rates are set to go up. They have to start making money as a country, right? So if you look at all those things, okay, and it's something else that has happened. It's just recently happened. A reduction in tax deductions, right? Some of you who are getting ready to do taxes right now, you're going to find out that you're capped as a household at $10,000. So many people are trying to look for innovative ways so that they can save money in taxes, right? So this is a huge deal. It's a huge deal now. And if you're smart, you realize it's going to be a huger deal down the road, especially when you're not working. This is all very important. And everybody needs to be thinking this way. You need to think from the end and work yourself backwards, and then you'll know if your plan works, right? Now, here's the other thing. What happens if you're subject to new taxes? What happens if there's a new tax that you haven't even heard about, right? What happens when that comes along, right? They've already created a new tax for cryptocurrency, just for example, right? They've already created new locale taxes, right? If you travel to where was I traveled at, and it was very interesting. I was in California. There's a bag tax. Did anybody know about this bag tax? If you go to a store and you want to have, would you like, can I get that bag? They tax you on the bag. There's a plastic cup or a straw tax in New York. I know this is weird times. Like, they just figure out different ways to get their hands inside your pockets. Right? New tax. So you have to be thinking proactive. Hey, what about the new taxes? So let's talk more specifically about the taxes on your retirement account. Many of you have an IRA. Many of you have a 401k at work. Some of you have a 403b if you're working for the state or for a school system. Or if you're a federal employee, you got a TSP. Okay? And you have money stacked up in TSP. I'm getting ready to share with you a very awesome way of how to legally avoid the taxes inside those accounts. Okay? It's just for the Laster Financial Consultant family. Okay? All right, let's get down to some tax law real quick. Okay? It's called the Annuity Exclusion Ratio. And it goes like, if you roll your money over into an annuity, and that annuity spits out regular or interval money over a period of time more than 5 years, and then what we do at 7 years, all or part of it may be tax-free because it's considered a return of premium. It's a return of principal. Did you hear what I just said? If you understand financial products and you put them together and you have them organized in a way in which you are able to legally avoid taxes, it's the preferred way of taxation. Right? So yes, if you're retiring and you get yourself an annuity and the annuity pays you at regular intervals a certain amount of money, some or all of it is not taxed because it's considered a return of principal. Okay? This is tax law. Tax law. Regulation 1.72-2B. This is tax law. This is written. You can look this up. Here, I'm going to put it on the screen real quick. You guys can write this down, screenshot it, okay? And look it up. Fact check me here. Fact check me. Okay? This is code 72B. All right? So if that's the deal, stay with me. If that's the deal, how do we use this? How do we use this? So the best way for me to explain to you is I'll show you the Smith family, right? Just basic name, Smith family, right? Looks like a happy couple here, right? And so the Smith family here, right? They got $400,000 saved up in Wall Street, okay? And it's earning 5% interest. So if you're just living off of 5% interest, you're living off of $20,000 a year, right? That's $20,000 a year, okay? Now, Uncle Sam has to get his money. That's the federal and state taxes, okay? So that's going to leave the Smith family. They withdrew $20,000, but they only get to realize $15,000 a year. Stay with me here. That's not it. Remember? So many folks, at age 62 or older are able to receive their Social Security. So 85% of the Social Security is now taxed, right? As well as that $15,000 is considered income. What am I saying? They only get to realize $10,750. $10,750. Huh? Yeah, you heard me. They pulled out $20,000, but they only get to use $10,750 of it. I'll let that marinate. Sounds like a ripoff, huh? I'm laughing. I'm laughing, and sometimes I can be laughing historically, right? Is because I work with people, and sometimes we're doing consultations on the phone or virtually, and people are calling me and they're comparing their advisor's plan to something that I may propose, and I'm sitting there looking at the plan and I'm going, my God, it's not what you earn, it's what you get to keep, people. And so people are set up in plans because their advisor gets paid by having them in the stock market. We don't. And our job is to help you open accounts and help you manage them, right? You manage them. We help you. We teach you how to manage them, right? So their interest is in keeping you in the market so that they can continue to make money off of you, right? And what we're trying to do is keep that money in your pocket, okay? So that's the Smith family Wall Street plan. And one more thing I want to highlight about it. That's a 46%, 46.25% marginal tax bracket. Whoa! That's crazy, right? That's crazy. All right. So let me ask you a question. If your financial planner says, hey, I got this great plan for you, but it's going to be 46.25% in marginal tax, but it's okay. It's a great plan. You got to love this one. You trust me? And this is literally what I see day in and day out. Okay. So I want to share with you a different way. I want to share with you a way to avoid the taxes. So let's see how this pulls up. Let's take the same $400,000 within a 7-year distribution period. Okay. And by doing it this way, there's not going to be any taxes how I show you how this is done. Okay. So we're going to take we're going to divide it up. And for 7 years, we're going to do a free 10% withdrawals, right? And I call this the split flow annuity. The split flow annuity, bonus points to anybody who puts split flow annuity inside the chat box, because this is exciting. This is exciting. And I'm tickled. I'm tickled. You know what? I'm beyond tickled right now, because I know, I hope, it is my belief that this is going to bless somebody. And so whoever it is, I just ask that you just put it in the chat box. All right, so here we go. Let me get back to the presentation. There we go. So I'm going to show you. First of all, you take the same $400,000 that the Smith family have, and you set up a flow account as well as a bank account. Right? I'd like for you to know on the 8th year, there's an account value of $120,000. So we're going to take 7 years of the free 10% withdrawals with an annuity. You remember, if it's consistent intervals of money coming to you from your annuity, it's not taxable. There's no taxes on it. This is IRS rules. Okay? So then you retain $8,000 of that, okay? And you now have $32,000 a year in income. $32,000 a year in income. Now, once you do this, okay, on the 8th year, you take the remaining $120,000 and put it inside your flow account. That's a total of $176,000. Now, as we're flowing this money, your account values, your cash value is growing inside your flow account. Guess what, people? Guess what? On the 8th year, you're getting $50,000 a year, plus a cost of living allowance, plus long-term care, plus death benefits. Okay? Plus death benefits. So let's compare the plans. You do the Wall Street plan, you only realize $10,750. If you do the split flow annuity, right, there's no taxes on that $20,000, plus you're earning $50,000 a year after the 8th year. Case study, math and science, the numbers don't lie. That's how we use this program to get you retired and keep you retired. Okay, get you retired and keep you retired. Now, some of you maybe you're not at retirement age, but maybe you have a little money saved or set aside inside of your savings account. What is your flow number? What is that going to look like for you? Right? Some of you, you're trying to get to that point and you're trying to say, okay, hey, what do I need to do, James, to replace my income or replace my expenses? Or, hey, when can I retire from this job right here? I don't like those people anymore. They don't make me happy, right? Right? This should motivate you. This should get you going. This should get you excited that you now have a game plan that you can use, right? So compare the difference real quick to those two plans. you're going to get $12,000 starting off more of net income than the Wall Street plan. And then the split flow annuity is going to reduce your tax bracket from the 25% to only 10% taxes. That's when all your other money, not this money, but your other money, got to get taxed. And you only at the 10% tax bracket. Your other money, not this money, right? Okay? So you're going to now no longer pay taxes on your Social Security income. And that is, folks, the power of the flow. That right there is essentially, it's the power of the flow, is that you get to use this split flow annuity to be able to retire, right? Now, some of you, maybe, you have, I don't know, grandparents. Maybe you have, your parents. I don't know. Maybe you. Okay. What are you going to do? What's your game plan? We've already seen in 2020 how the market can go crazy, right? The market, and they said the market is going to reset. The market didn't reset in 2020. It just kind of like stopped because nobody was working. Countries were shut down. So a reset is bound to happen. It's on the brink, right? Ask any real estate agent. They're waiting for that market to crumble. Well, what about if you're not worried about the market? What about if there's a floor, right? What if there's zero market risk due to market downfall? Isn't that what the banks are doing? Do you hear the banks contesting Congress? Hey, what are we doing about this inflation and this taxes? No, because they're making money. And you could too, right? So what is your portfolio mix looking like, right? Do you have anything there to hedge against your losses? More importantly, do you have anything that's paying you dividends or paying you income? And is that income increasing, like a cost of living increase? And more importantly, if you can say yes to all those questions, I'm so proud of you, I'm happy. But do those accounts provide for you long-term care or disability coverage? Many people don't realize when you're talking about how does your financial plan compare to any other financial plan, you also have to consider what happens if you can't work anymore. What happens if an ailment comes along? We're all human, right? Some people have been experiencing COVID, okay? And that's not a pleasurable experience for a lot of folks. Or, worst case scenario, what if you go to the doctor and have a procedure and there's an infection? What happens, if you fall off a ladder for putting up, Christmas lights? I don't know. Car accident, right? What does that mean? That means you're considered disabled. And if you're old enough and it takes long enough, that means you need long-term care. What happens when you can't take care of yourself? Okay, there are a lot of single mothers out there. Who's going to take care of you? Do you want your kids to take care of you? Well, I'm sure they will. But do you want them to be the managers of your care or the providers of your care? Right? Anybody who knows my story, you go online, you check me out. My mom has been in geriatrics now for the last 32 years. I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. I know what happens when there's good coverage and there's no coverage and then there's bad coverage. Right? So those are huge. And what happens when those instances occur? Health-wise, no one's going to be healthy forever, right? I hope you do. I hope you live a long and healthy life. That would make me happy, right? I know that would make your family happy. But here's the deal. Who's going to take care of you when you can't take care of yourself? The providers of your care are the ones who are brushing your teeth, making sure you eat, feeding you, changing your diapers, making sure you socialize, clean up your house. Is that going to be your kids? Is that going to be your neighbors, your friends? Or would you rather your kids, would you rather your family, would you rather a good friend or confidant or guardian manage your care? Meaning they're going to make sure that you're well taken care of. And if you're in an uncomfortable situation, they will assist in rescuing you out of that situation at a tender elderly age. That's proper planning. And proper planning makes execution easier. Oh man, split flow annuity, split flow annuity. You're going to be hearing a lot more about the split flow annuity because with the split flow annuity, you're also able to be able to flow other investments inside of your flow. So you have your annuity, you have your investment accounts, you got your crypto account. You're going to be hearing a lot about the split flow annuity. This is the money game, right? This is the money game. And this money game is not for, they say it's not for everybody. It's kind of like you're supposed to just like figure it out, right? And one of the biggest thoughts that I'll leave you guys with is that as I'm working with a lot of folks, and we observe their plan, I'm asking, hey, so just curious, what made you make that decision? I'm just trying to understand, what's going on here. Where were you at in this point in time when you made that financial decision? And a lot of times he say, hey, my brother, my cousin, my uncle, they did this or they do this. And they said that they had this. I was at work and I was at the water cooler and they were talking about this. And, we were at a restaurant with some friends and they said they do this and they invested in this. But they didn't take in consideration their end game. So people just, perpetually are accumulating financial products, but not really thinking about what kind of tool it is and what kind of results it's going to give them and how it's going to affect their lifestyle. So that's the big deal for tonight. The split flow annuity. We're showing you how to roll your money from your 401k, your IRAs, into an annuity, flow it into your flow policy, and have income for life with a cost of living allowance, along with long-term care, as well as a death benefit to leave behind for your spouse and for your family for years to come and generations to come. So I thank everybody for joining me this evening. So much to talk about, so much to learn. Definitely share this message with friends and family. Get the word out. Taxes are going to be a huge thorn in everybody's side starting this year. So this is just my way to just get out ahead of a lot of that and just talk to all of you about what your options are. So God bless you guys. Take care. Like the page if you haven't done so already. Meet us on YouTube if you want to have a bigger screen and so forth. And definitely leave your comments in the chat box. We'll get back to you guys. Take care. God bless. And you guys be well. And I wish I had some outro music for you guys.